What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at the Dark Knight Batman DX19. And if you want to pre-order this figure, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. I think it's already in stock though. But yeah, definitely do check them out. Full disclosure, I already have, well, I did own DX12. And I currently do have the Armory Batman. So my excitement level, so to speak, wasn't as high when it comes to this figure, because on the surface I was just like, I already have this, so you know, let's take a look. But I'm such a huge Dark Knight fan that I still want to take this, you know, do an unboxing, and there are several aspects of DX19 that I don't have owning the Armory Batman. A nice box right here, although you know what, I was about to say it doesn't feel like DX because it doesn't have that magnet flap, but that magnet flap always does have a tear right by the seam, you know, where it folds. So maybe this is the way to go for DXs from here on out, although it doesn't have the same feel, you know, of that premium magnet snapping on and off. But at the end of the day, if it's not going to tear, maybe this is a better way of doing it. And they did include, from what it seems like, a keychain. I'm not ever going to use that, but it is cool, because in every DX, at least a Joker, there's some sort of memorabilia in there, you know, that you could take out. So this, if you had DX12, this is reminiscence of that. The one difference is it does have that sonar eyes, which DX12 didn't came with, only came with DX02. Back in the day, you know, the early infancies of Hot Toys, I've been looking for this head sculpt forever, and this is one of the main reasons why I decided to jump on a DX19. That is while owning, you know, the better improved Armory Batman. That is more improved than the DX12 that we are talking about. So this is you know, basically I lost count, because there's MMS 78. This is what, like the 6th Dark Knight now, you know. And they all look the same. It's not like an Iron Man, which is a, you know, redo of the same armor. Maybe Mark III, or for example, Mark III has been done 4 times now, you know, if you include the battle damage and then the 2.0 die cast and all that stuff. But again, having the Armory version, I don't have that EMP gun. This is a so to speak improved head sculpt from the Armory / DX12 version. And you lift this up and you got the manual, and also the, again, improved cape, and a good base, because if you got the armor, you don't have that base. So this base right here is almost a recycled DX12 base, although this has a little bit more, I wouldn't even call it detail, but there's a lot of things going on. What it's lacking though is the lights and the metallic plaque. Now, at least this is not printed on. It's a sticker that's a little better than what we're accustomed to from the Marvel things that we do get, but it doesn't have the light up function, which is fine. One thing though is they didn't fix, in my opinion, is the trigger finger hands. They kind of saved some money on the hands again. They gave us a half trigger finger again, which could work, I suppose, for the Bat Pod. But would it really hurt them to give us a proper trigger finger for this? Because this would serve as, you know, like holding the Bat Pod / holding his guns. Speaking of guns, same mold. I don't have any complaints about it. The gold is nice, the sort of metallic. It does cock back. Spring loaded here, his grappling gun. It's very nice. You know, if you haven't had any Dark Knight, you started collecting, you're in for a treat. You know, you got this sticky bomb gun as well that he used from the Dark Knight. It's nice. It's foldable, you know, trigger in here, like and then this could extend as well, like this. That's the counter, and then the stock does extend, and even I don't know what to call that, the barrel in the front. But I'm holding the camera here as well. And now you got the EMP gun, which is nice. It does light up. You insert the batteries, And then at the bottom you have that switch that you turn on, and it looks, and this one kind of goes on and off as well. You can kind of pull the barrel in the front to reveal more of the lights that it comes with. There you go. Again, one thing that I don't have, owning the Armory version, which if you do have DX12, you will have this, and this goes in the back of the bat pod, so which I do have, so that would go there. You got some bombs in there, some batarang. I'm not even, we've seen this before. If you haven't seen this, it's very nicely painted. You got a head sculpt, which we would dive into later, and the color piece that comes along with the head sculpt once you use it, sonar eyes, and the regular head sculpt. Now let's take a look at the armor. It has some differences, which I'm gonna dive into, do a comparison, a more in-depth one, to compare my Armory version to this. But right off the bat, my observations are the carbon fiber looks more pronounced this time. Not too much. I mean, I've seen the comparison to DX12. It is a bit more noticeable. But if you have the Armory version, it's not that noticeable. Overall, it has a better build, in my opinion. Like, I'm not even going to compare it right now. I'm just going to comment this as an individual piece. Like I said, I'll make a proper comparison later on. But as a DX19, it looks fantastic. It has this heroic build. You got some nice articulation. The armor, the levels of, like the carbon fiber to the different plates is nicely done. Nicely executed. You got some shine on his boots in there. You see here the stitching is pretty clean. The paneling, the rubber suit underneath this, patches of rubber is a nice fabric, so it doesn't, how do I say this, pull each other out when you're trying to post them, which is a really nice touch. And on the back, I didn't include a cape, so you could kind of see the torso, like in the back end, because it's really intricate, which is a shame, because if you cover it with with a cape, but he does come with a cape, though it's Batman. So I just want to showcase that. And then the shoulder pads are connected to his front armor, so there's a little pull, give and take when you're posing him, but overall it's okay. Got to be careful with those, spikes on his gauntlets, because, when you are especially removing the head sculpt, you tend to hold them close to your body. You might break them. So just, keep an eye on that whenever you are, moving this figure around. And as far as the unmasked head sculpt, so this is a photo. This is the best one that I've seen so far, and a little bit higher quality to the new head sculpt that we do have. And I think it's pretty nice. This to me looks like the quarter scale version that shrunk down to 1/6, and I'm not complaining. The head sculpt on the DX12 / Armory version is not bad. I've actually seen a photo where it kind of resembles that, but he has more pictures that kind of looks like this compared to the Armory / DX12. So it's not a case of newer or better, it's just actually better, in my opinion. That this is closer. It's still not perfect, but a lot closer in the paint application. The lips, the nose. I think there are certain angles like this one, which is almost Christian Bale. I'm not gonna lie, I do like this a lot better. Maybe the lips is a bit better on that older version, but this one's no joke. But if I have to choose one, I would say this is the stronger of the two. Now, as far as the masked head sculpt, his cowl, this is amazing. It's I like the shape of this cowl right here. You don't need to get custom ones, because I know back in the day, to create a perfect Dark Knight, you have to get some custom cowl and face plates and all that stuff, and they could be costly. It could be expensive. In this case, you don't have to. It's attached via magnet, as always, as like before. So you get a whole lot of range of movement here. There's something about this cowl that I like a lot. I'm comparing it to the DX12. If you have DX12, you know the eyes, the eyelids is not painted black. So in close-up shots, it might be a little bit more problematic. In here, you don't have that. So you got, from different angles, it looks like the actor himself. You know, like if right here, if you show this to a non-Hot Toys collector, they'll be like, hey man, that's the actual actor from the movie. That's how realistic this head sculpt is, in my opinion, and it looks really great, and I love it. And then you can swap out the faceplate. And speaking of faceplate, this is kind of like the kissy face from Batman, and as you can see here, sonar eyes. Man, I've been looking for this sonar eyes forever. I didn't own DX02, and thank God I didn't, because otherwise I'll be having some trouble getting rid of that. That is known for having the leaky abs, the oily abs as we call them, because the rubber that they used, it started leaking and all that stuff. So, but one or two commending things about DX02 is the sonar eyes and the backpack. This one does not come with a backpack. Hopefully somebody on eBay makes one through 3D print. I can't imagine that being so hard. I can imagine that will be a hit for collectors, especially the one who owns DX19, to get that backpack. It'll be nice. That's the only thing that's missing from this release. And I will showcase you the different, mouth plates that we do have, like the angry one, kind of the kissy face, semi lips open. So depending on what scene are you trying to do, they're all here. So that's a good news. Articulation wise, I removed the head sculpt because it's via magnet, so I don't want it falling down. The underlying suit right here is made out of nice thin fabric, so you get a lot of range of motion, when bending the arms, moving the shoulders forward. Of course, his waist it's gonna be limited because the amount of rubber that is on his armor. Now the knees you can bend nicely there, again because of the fabric. Boots are split cut, nice thread on his shoes. You could move the legs around, don't get it twisted. You could move that around. The arms, always hold it, this shoulder pads right here is connected to the armor, so you can kind of lift it up and slowly move the arm forward if that is what you wanted to do. You can put him in a nice pose where he's like holding a gun or his EMP, but look at that, when you bend the abdominal section, you see some folds, and it's just unsightly, and I cringe when something like that happens. So I try not to move the legs forward and back, and yeah, there you go. So let's do some poses here before we wrap this thing up. This is him unmasked without a cape, holding an empty cowl, which again you wouldn't get here. I got two of these, one from the Armory and one from a special edition from Selena Kyle, Hot Toys as well. This is a nice accessory, especially if you have it unmasked, but as you can see here, very beautifully done. You put the collar piece on and it just used fantastic. This is with the sonar eyes. As you know, he's in Hong Kong. I don't have a backpack, so I didn't put the cape in. So I left him as it is. The cape is actually beautiful. I don't think I tackled that, but it's nice and soft. A lot better than the DX12 and the Armory version as well. So here he is holding the sticky gun with those beautiful eyes that lights up. But a pain in the ass to install the batteries. I'm gonna tell it right now. It took me a while to put those batteries on. They'll stay on there forever. And then one last thing here. This is him with the EMP gun while he's chasing. He's being chased by Gotham PD, and then the bat showed up and all that stuff. So I love this scene as well. He is here in the dark, and look at that cape, how it drapes nicely compared to the thicker materials that they used back in DX12 and the Armory version, where it kind of bunches up, especially on when you insert the cape. This one has a nice drape on it. It's still not the same velvet material that they used, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I feel like you don't need to buy a custom cape for this. You could, it improves the figure, but I don't think you need to. And here he is with DX11 Joker with a bank robber 2.0 head sculpt that I switch every once in a while, depending on my mood. But I think they look nice together, and he's a little bit taller than Joker here. He's a bit taller than the older figures. Well, there you go. Conclusion, my final thoughts on DX19. If you're a Dark Knight fan, you owe it to yourself to get this. If you have a DX12, which I did had at one point, I think it's a massive improvement to the DX12. Does it mean you need to get one? Not necessarily, in my opinion, but it's an improvement nonetheless, because I feel like there's already a big leap between the DX12 and the Armory version, and as far as I can remember, this would just be better, head and shoulders over DX12. Now it's up to you whether you want to own both, because that if you want to sell your DX12 for cheap, or like myself, you cannot have too many Batmans. And that's my mentality here, so I got both. But if this is your first one, boy, you're in for a treat. It's a DX figure under $300, which most Hot Toys figures nowadays are in that range, and they're not even DX. This technically has 3 head sculpts, 4 faceplates, so you can change expressions. It might not sound like it has a lot, but there's a lot of things going on here. You can totally change the look of your figure, remove the cape, give him an EMP gun. You got the Batarang, which you can put on the back of his belt. You got a like a diorama base, so to speak. Even though it's recycled, it's still considered a diorama base, and it's one of the most iconic Batmans out there. So what is there to lose? I say you pick it up. Don't even think about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.